I played 100 games of Skywars on a brand new account. Recently, I talked about how difficult Skywars can be for newer players. In today's video, I'm going to be highlighting my experience on a new account as I progress through my first 100 games of Skywars. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's get right into it. First things first, I logged on to Hypixel. I bought myself VIP rank because being a non sucks, and I equipped a skin that would make me blend in with the player base. The only thing that I'm going to mention beforehand is that I'm going to be playing only insane mode. It's pretty much the same thing for normal mode, except the games are going to be a little different, but I main insane, so I'm better at it. First things first, I started out by rolling the soul well, as new players start with 10 souls. Wow, would you look at that? I got a useless Mega Skywars perk. Let's go! I noticed afterwards I had 20 souls, not really sure why, but I rolled again and I got the same useless perk. I also got scout kit for normal, but we're playing insane, so I wasn't very hopeful for game 1 considering it was on fossil. The first fight I was in actually was my first kill, but after that it went downhill. I was chased by a knight that I thought I could kill, but I just couldn't. Game 2 was over pretty quickly because I got jump scared and just hit into the void. Things finally turned around and I got my first win on game 3. But I forgot to record the game. I ended up winning game 4 and leveled up for the first time. Nothing really interesting happened until game 8 where I hit 3-star. Coins! Yay! Game 9 was annoying because I was being bowed by 3 people at once. I didn't have any perks to give me regen after a kill, so I had to really play more conservatively instead of aggressive like I usually do. Game 11 should have been mine to win, except for the fact that I lost half my health while pearling. Iron prestiges are mean. Oh my god. I somehow managed to kill my first cheater in game 12 and won the game. Games 13 through 17 were pretty boring, but game 18 was my 10th Skywars win. Yay! Game 19 had the nastiest combo I got in the entire session, and I feel bad even thinking about it. I also hit 4-star at the end as a reward. Now, game 20 was very weird. I spent most of the game running away from the same cheater that I killed earlier. I managed to get a kill towards the end of the game, and we struck up a little conversation, and I convinced the cheater to give me the win. What was that? No.
What?
I just convinced a cheater to give me a win.
There's no shot.
No! The rest of the first session was pretty underwhelming. I died to a cheater in game 22. I pulled a classic Iro in game 23 and won game 24 with ease. Game 25 was corrupted on one of my worst maps, so I figured I wasn't gonna win it anyway. I ended up dying to a single bow shot from a Steve. That Steve might look cute, but those eyes are lies! Anyways, that was the end of the first session I played. Following the concept of the last 100 games video I made, I broke playtime into 4 sessions of 25 games. After the first session was done, I had 13 wins, 59 kills, and 4-star. I also was sitting pretty comfortable at a 4.92 kill death ratio and a 1.08 win-loss ratio. On to session 2, I was hopeful that it would go well, considering how well the first one went. I actually started out with a little win streak, and I won my first 4 games. I managed to purchase my first perk for insane mode, Ender Mastery. I bought the first 2 levels, which doesn't really do a lot, and in game 28, I prestiged for the first time. Watch out, world, I'm an iron prestige now. I'm gonna go do some iron prestige things like be toxic and skybase. Grrr. I killed another cheater in game 29, but my confidence was shattered a game later where I got b-hopped on. Game 36 was my 20th win on the account. Game 40 was a boring 6-kill win, and game 41 had disco mode. Wow! Most of the games I played are pretty boring and unmemorable, but by game 45 I had learned something. I'm constantly put at a disadvantage after fights where I take literally any damage. New players don't have any perks at all and are constantly screwed over in many situations because they can't compete against players with Juggernaut or Bulldozer. A good chunk of my losses came out of being cleaned right after I had a fight with low health. On my main, I usually get regeneration after a kill, but here I get nothing. I mentioned this in my last video, but I think new players should at least get access to level 1 perks for free. If I had any form of Juggernaut during these games, I think I would have been better off. I'll elaborate a little bit more on that towards the end, so stay tuned. Anyway, in game 46, I ended up playing ping pong with 4 people at once. I'm really impressed I didn't die. I had to drag the game until refill for literally anything because I had no health, a stone sword, and shattered dreams. I ended up winning somehow, but it was not that fulfilling. Game 47 is every reason I don't like like Aquarius thrown into one. Game 49 was my first 7-kill win. Game 50 was pretty underwhelming, so let's leave it at that. At the end, I had 29 wins, 143 kills, and I was a 5-star, almost at 6. I had a 6.81 KDR and a 1.38 win-loss ratio. Numbers that I will never, ever see again in my life. And here's where everything starts to go downhill. Session 3 started with 4 losses in a row. My god, what a great way to start off. In game 52, I was chased by an angry diamond division. Game 53 wasn't any better. My kill was stolen and I was stuck in front of some blocks and couldn't escape. I finally won a game in game 55 and hit 6-star in game 56. Game 58 made me pretty sad. I was winning the fight until they got a double hit and some other people came in to clean. I won game 62 finally, and to celebrate, I decided to open a chest. Yeah, I don't know what I was doing either. Let's not talk about game 63. I had no chance at all in game 65, so I frantically started checking mid-chest to see if there was anything I could use. Luckily, I managed to find a KB rod and was able to knock everyone into the void. Game 66 had not 1 but 2 B-hoppers, and game 67 and 68 were pretty easy wins, the last for a while. Now these next few games are pretty eventful, so let's run through everything that happened. Game 69, I got B-hopped on. Game 70, I was chased by a sweat who had speed while I was on fire without speed. Guess what happened next? Okay, I'll admit this one was my fault. Game 72, I died because of Ender Mastery. I managed to win game 73, but why was the guy on top of clearing? Wah! Before game 74, I realized I finally had enough coins to buy Juggernaut 1. This barely helped, but the game after, I got my first 8-kill win. Yay! Then session 3 ended in the most fitting way possible, an 11-kill win. Just kidding, I got B-hopped on. This was the worst session so far. At the end of it all, I was sitting pretty comfortable with 37 wins and 195 kills. I was a 6-star with a 0.97 win-loss and a 5.13 kill-death ratio. Alright, it's time for session 4. Game 76 started out pretty nice, but was not in my favor during the last fight. I ended up dragging the game out until refill, considering the last time I did so. During refill, Obama himself blessed me with 24 gaps, and I was able to win the game. Thanks, Obama. I missed my pearl in game 77, and I won game 78, which I thought was pretty cool. Game 79 through 81 were pretty boring, and in game 82, I just ran around the map until I could win. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Game 83 was on siege, so I didn't want to win it anyway. In game 85, I upgraded Juggernaut, so I finally had 4 seconds of regeneration. Then I did this. Game 86 was a pretty boring win, and game 87 started my largest losing streak so far. In game 88, I was in the middle of an intense fight with a gold prestige before a B-hopper aggro pearled on me. I think I've seen it all now. Game 89 was my fault, and I was B-hopped on in game 90. I opened a chest and got 37 gaps in game 91, and I still died. Game 92 was my fault, and game 93 was boring. Game 94 was certainly one of the games of all time. I ended up getting some wacky combos and won. And games 96 through 99 were some of the worst games I've ever played. While I'm here, I should take some time to talk about a few problems I faced while going through this experiment. A few things caught my attention above all else. First thing, lower prestiges are so toxic for no reason. Like, I don't get it. I'm used to and expect a certain level of toxicity within the community, considering I come from the ranked Skywars community of all places. That's where I spent a long time, so I'm used to the toxicity. However, I'm filtering everything through a new player's perspective. Within 100 games, I had already been cursed out multiple times and had dozens of L's thrown at me. This is super discouraging for really anyone, let alone someone who's trying to get into the game. When new players already have such a disadvantage, having other people not really encourage them and like congratulate them for wins and just be mean and toxic really doesn't help anybody. Another big thing was the cheater problem. As a higher star, I don't really queue that many cheaters. Since recording this, I've actually seen a noticeable increase on B-hoppers on my main, but when I was doing this recording, there were so many B-hoppers that I had never seen before. A lot of cheaters play on really low star accounts because they're not, like, they're fresh accounts, so they're really low stars. With skill-based matchmaking in place, newer players often get the brunt of it. And the last thing that I've already brought up before, but not having perks was super annoying. I felt like I could have won way more games if I had even half of the perks I had on my main. On top of that, the soul well is another huge issue. The soul well exists to help people get started, to get those perks before you even get into the game, but when all I'm getting is coins and mega perks, how is that going to help anybody? Anyways, let's get into the moment that nobody has been waiting for. Game 100.
I'm gonna go make some corn dogs. I'll be right back.
Have fun. What? My internet crashed. God, I was so mad. At the end of it all, I had 45 wins, 240 kills, and 6 stars. I finished with a 0.82 win-loss and a 4.36 kill-death ratio. While I wasn't able to get a pure new player experience, I was definitely able to get a feel for some of the struggles that many face when starting out the game. Hopefully with this, changes can be made to improve the overall experience for newer players, because not a lot of creators really talk about this. If you want to watch the previous 100 games videos that I've done, feel free to do so. They'll be on the screen now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if so, please leave a like and subscribe. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.